Okay, guys, so the Supreme Court has spoken. And basically, they are saying Texas can arrest illegal immigrants crossing into the United States through the Mexican border illegally. They can be arrested, and once they are fingerprinted, photographed, and ID'd for being having warrants or being suspected terrorists or X, Y, and Z, they will give an option of either 6 months in jail or they could just walk into Mexico. That's their option. But Mexico is now saying, hell no. You cannot walk into Mexico. We will not take the migrants. But they can come through Mexico as long as they're going to the United States. So, but during Trump time, Mexico would not dare to even say such a thing. They would not dare. Trump would freaking hit him with the hammer so hard, bloodbath. But let's read this because this shows exactly how weak the the Biden administration is, right? This shows how corrupt Democrats are. Pure corruption. This is pure corruption. Let's read this. A divided Supreme Court on Tuesday allowed Texas to begin enforcing a law that gives police broad powers to arrest migrants suspected of crossing the border illegally while a legal battle over the measure plays out. The conservative majority order rejects an emergency application from the Biden administration which says the law is a clear violation of federal authority that will cause chaos in immigration law. What immigration law, bro? There's no immigration law in effect at this point. It's an open border. Come in at your own pace. We're not going to stop you. We'll welcome you. Texas Governor Greg Abbott praised the order and the law, which allows any police officer in Texas to arrest migrants for illegal entry and authorize judges to order them to leave the U.S. The High Court didn't address whether the law is constitutional. The measure now goes back to an appellate court and could eventually return to the Supreme Court. In the meantime, it wasn't clear how soon Texas might begin arresting migrants under the law. It was also unclear where any migrants ordered to leave might go. The law calls for them to be sent to ports of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border, even if they are not Mexican citizens. The Mexico's government said Tuesday it would not, under any circumstances, accept the return of any migrants to its territory from the state of Texas. Mexico is not required to accept deportations of anyone except Mexican citizens. So Mexico has a stronger border policy than the United States. Only if the migrants are going back into Mexico. But if they are going through Mexico, it's okay. So long as you don't stay in Mexico. So long as you keep walking to United States. But if you decide to stay in Mexico, Mexico will deport your ass quick. They won't hesitate. They would not hesitate. It condemned the Texas law being allowed to take effect, saying it would criminalize migrants and lead to the separation of families, discrimination, and racial profiling. The government said it would put its position before the appeals court next considering the law. Mexico rejects any measure that allows state or local authorities to handle immigration control, detain or return nationals or foreigners to Mexican territory, the Foreign Affairs Ministry said in a statement. Of course they did. Because you know what? Mexico wants to secure its borders. Mexico does not want foreigners in Mexico. Mexico just wants Mexicans. They don't want any migrants in Mexico. Mexico already not a great place to live in. It has a lot of dangerous areas. Cartel is out of control. But yet they still want to have a strong border policy. in one direction, right? If there's a caravan of migrants coming from anywhere in the world into Mexico, so long as they're not staying in Mexico and going into the United States, they're okay with it, but not in reverse. So this goes to show how dumb this administration is, how dumb the people are who vote for this administration, continuously to support this administration. Um, I mean, I know why they do this, because they got peanuts for brain. That's it. They are deranged. They are deranged. I don't remember Republicans being this deranged when Biden got elected, right? And don't bring me January 6th, because that was all a setup. That was all um uh uh uh, uh it was all fixed. Videos prove it. It was all fixed. This was a work of the Democrats, because they want instability, and their policies shows it. Um, and I was actually talking about this today, about how Democrats only create chaos. They don't create peace. They only create chaos. Their entire platform, the entire ideology is just chaos. They create chaos in the Middle East. They create chaos anywhere they go. Look at the Democratic ran states. It's all chaos. Show me one state that's in peace. Show me one state that has a peaceful news that comes out of it. They're all chaos. Constantly killing and dying, and fentanyls and drugs and all this crap. It all majority comes from Democratic run states. So yeah. So I mean, if you're a Democrat, you vote for Democrat all your life, and that's all you do, you're the problem. You're the problem. I didn't see any Republicans. I mean, Republicans are the problem too. I'm not gonna side with Republicans too, but most of these politicians are just corrupt. And for Republican voters, they need to stop and ask themselves questions of these stupid senators and House representatives who, on both sides, who support some of these bills that they are passing. Anyways, let me get back to this. The law knows, as Senate Bill 4 is considered by opponents to be the most dramatic attempt by a state to police immigration since an Arizona law more than a decade ago, portions of which were struck down by the Supreme Court. Critics have also said the Texas law could lead to civil rights violation and racial profiling. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre called the law harmful and unconstitutional and said it would burden law enforcement while creating confusion. She called on congressional Republicans to settle the issue with a federal border security bill. Yeah. So, Obama, deporter in chief, quietly deported millions, right? But now they are importing millions and millions because they see a shift in people's mindsets. And when they see a shift in people's mindsets, they're not shifting to the left, they're shifting to the right, center, right? Because they are tired of the Democratic Party's bullshit agenda. So what do the Democrats need to do? They need to import more votes. So what this means to anybody with the single brain cell, if, God forbids, if Biden gets a second term, all these illegals, all the 10 million of them, or however many million of them are in the United States, they will get pathway to citizenship right away. and then some, because that will give 4 more years of people coming in. So think about it. During this time, this administration time in office, millions poured into the country. Another 4 years of him, millions more will pour into the country, which creates this huge voting block for the Democrats. Because the Democrats will give them everything and anything, to include the kitchen sink. They don't care about Americans. They care about votes. Remember that. Democrats don't care about Americans. All they care is about votes. That's it. They're not in this business for you, the American citizen. They're in this for power and votes. So I make that clear. They're not in this business for you. They're only in this business for votes and power. You don't get shit. You just get demonized if you speak up. That's all they do. But second thing, all this influx of immigrants coming in, and this is, remember when they fought for the census, for, Trump wanted to put if they're American citizens or not in the census. They don't want to put that in there, because when you do the census, then when the numbers come out, it determines the congressional seat of how many seats can be allocated to Democrats, Republicans in districts and all that stuff. So remember that. For them, this is more voting power. But yeah, I mean, hey, if you're a Democrat and you only vote Democrat, you don't have room to bitch or complain about anything. You get robbed, that's what you wanted. You get raped, that's what you wanted. You get killed, that's what you wanted. That's what you voted for. Am I lying? No. The proof is in the pudding. You've seen it all day. Just like New York, Tijuana, New York. Just, what I mentioned yesterday. Anyways, leave your comments down below. Peace out.